Dan here with the last of the proposal theme tutorials. Now in part 1 we talked about what themes are and where they come from. In part 2 I showed you how you can pull themes from what you know about your customers' hot buttons. Now in part 3 what I'm going to show you is how you incorporate these themes throughout your proposal in the various sections. So, onward! Winning Proposal Themes, Part 3, or how to put them where they'll do the most good. But first, let's talk a little bit about what you'll learn from this video. I'll talk about 3 things: where themes belong in your proposal, how to tell the writers where themes belong, and how to insert themes into your section write-ups. But first up, let's do a quick review. Remember that in parts 1 and 2 I said addressing hot buttons equals your theme. You develop themes by first identifying what your customers want or want to avoid. If you remember, we first identified Alice Devlin's concerns. Alice was the customer's project manager. She was a key decision maker. Next, we identified Jim Ellis's concerns. Jim was the customer's lead engineer on the project, and he also had a big say in the final decision. Finally, we identified Ted DeSalle as the final decision maker, the top dog, and we were able to key in on his main worries. All of these are the customer's hot buttons, the things that keep them up at night about the project. If you have been talking with the customer before the RFP drops, you should have a good idea of what these are. Next, you need to come up with solutions for giving them what they want on the project. Notice in the last one that a single theme can tackle more than one hot button. Okay, these were the summary themes that we developed for this proposal. Now we needed to come up with more details to make them persuasive. And here are the expanded themes that get into the team's understanding of the hot button, why it's important, what they will do about it, and what are the benefits. Pause the video a moment and read through them. Now remember that by itself, each theme is not enough to persuade the evaluator to give you the highest points. There's simply not enough detail in the theme itself. The details come when you incorporate that theme into your write-up in the proposal. That's when you show them how you will meet the requirements of the RFP and at the same time resolve those hot buttons that the customer's been worried about. This builds the benefits of your approach into the fabric of the proposal. This way the customer gets that warm fuzzy feeling that you know what they value and you have a plan to give it to them. Okay, the next problem is, how do you make sure that each section talks about the right theme? Well, that's easy. You assign the themes to the appropriate section. You do this after the RFP comes out, and you have outlined your proposal according to the instructions in the RFP. Now, these are the main sections of the proposal we wrote, based on how the RFP told us to outline it. Next, we assign the themes to the sections. In the section on permitting activities, we will show how our approach to permitting eliminates Alice's permitting worries. In the section on hydraulic analysis, we show how our approach to conducting the analysis solves his problems, and so forth. This is a great way to manage your themes and make sure they bring the biggest bang for the buck. It's also a very effective way to get your section writers to focus the details of their technical knowledge on not only how you will do the work, but how your approach brings direct benefits. For the next few slides, I'm going to talk about and show examples of how the themes show up in some of the major sections of the proposal. First up is the cover letter serving as an executive summary. Now, many customers do not require a formal executive summary, but you probably always include a cover letter with your proposal. If you don't have the opportunity to write a formal executive summary, I recommend using this cover letter as your executive summary. That's where you highlight your themes or your reasons why the customer should select you. In our cover letter, we put our one-sentence theme statements in bold. Each paragraph under the bolded themes are the details we added to bolster the one-sentence theme. And the blue italics at the end of paragraphs are the benefits to the customer. Okay, let's zoom in and take a closer look. The first paragraph tells the readers that we understand the complex nature of the project. The second and third sentences tells them that we understand the issues, we have prepared a plan to resolve them, and that our solutions have clear benefits to the customer. Next, we announced what we see as the key features of our approach, which are in fact our main themes, or the reasons why the customer should select us. As I said a moment ago, the text in each of the paragraphs under the bolded sentences are the fully expanded details of our themes. And finally, the italicized blue bold sentences are the benefits of our approaches to fixing the customer's worries. This cover letter lays out the reasons that we believe the customer should select us. We wrote these paragraphs during the strategy sessions I described in part 2 of theme building. Then we reviewed and revised them. We did most of the work before the RFP came out and just tweaked the words after the RFP dropped. And because they dominate our cover letter, the customer will see them as the main themes of our entire proposal. Next up is the approach section, where we have to tell the customer how we will conduct all the work required. And the first subsection is permitting activities. We had 2 goals for section 1.1. First, we had to answer the RFP and describe what we will do to secure the permits. We talk about that here and explain how we'll do that in greater detail later in the section. But our next goal, number 2, was to convince Alice Devlin, the project manager and a key decision maker, that we understand her fear that permitting will delay construction start. Plus, we have to show that we have a plan for making sure her fears won't come true. That's what the rest of the section is about. Now, we start to do that by introducing one of our key strengths, good old Rocky Nolan, the permitting expert, and that he will lead the process. And oh, by the way, Rocky is so customer-focused that he's already gotten a start on the work. And look what he found. Some permits the district didn't even know existed. By finding these, he has already delivered on a benefit. No delays due to permitting. If you will recall from the Win Strategy session, this is exactly what Alice wanted to avoid. And now the table below reinforces the message by highlighting in green the hidden permits we found. This means that we will not be surprised at the end of the project by permits that can delay construction start. In the related experience section, we highlighted a project that had very similar characteristics to the one we are proposing on. Then we went on to address the concerns that Ted DeSalle, the ultimate decision maker, had about public worries regarding environmental disruption. You may recall that one of our strengths is Kelly Hansen, whom the customer likes and who has a successful track record of handling such public concerns. Ted DeSalle knows Kelly very well, and he likes her a lot. Kelly did a great job for the same customer on the past project, and we took pains to remind the customer of that in this write-up. Oh, and remember Jim Ellis, the customer's lead engineer who was worried about slope stability and its effects on pipe damage? Well, we used this project to highlight our experience in addressing exactly this kind of problem. That should give him the warm, fuzzy feeling that we have successfully done work exactly like this before. In the key personnel section of the proposal, we reinforced Rocky Nolan's credibility as an acknowledged permitting expert. First, we cited his long experience in general. Then we showed how he applied his skill at finding obscure permits on a similar project to great success. And in the team section of the proposal, we highlighted the skills that GeoWorks, our geotechnical subconsultant, brings to the team. Then we showed that they brought direct experience to this project through their work on an earlier project that generated data we will use on this project specifically. Next, we showed how this will solve Alice's worries about construction start. We were also able to deal once again with Jim Ellis's worries about slope stability on the project. This last paragraph hits Jim's concerns about slope stability. Well, that's it for part 3 of how to develop winning proposal themes. Let's recap. In summary, determine the best place in the proposal to insert your themes. You do this by using the proposal outline as your primary guide. And then you enhance your proposal sections with the themes so the customers see the value in all parts of your proposal, not only what you will do to meet the RFP requirements, but what you will do to make sure that the customers get what they want or avoid what they fear. Developing winning proposal themes is one of the toughest things to get right. I hope these 3 tutorials have helped. You can always send questions and comments via the form on the page, and don't forget to check out the rest of the videos. And until next time, happy proposaling.